I'm going to be honest, a lot of you probably don't even know that this edition of Night of the Living Dead exists. What is up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel, and I want to just get right into this. I had to do a video over this because I'm a huge fan of the Dead trilogy, which is made by George A. Romero. If you watch my channel, you should know who George A. Romero is. The Dead trilogy, to me, is a perfect trilogy, one of my favorite trilogies of all time. My second favorite movie of all time is actually Dawn of the Dead, and I haven't talked about those films much on the channel, surprisingly, and I wanted to talk about an old school release that came out, I believe, in 1999 from Anchor Bay. And if you watched some of my shorts here on the channel, you've heard me talk about Anchor Bay before. It is a company that used to release horror films back in the days. They were kind of like a boutique label before boutique labels. The first independent label putting out horror content. And I have a release today of George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. It is the 30th anniversary edition from Anchor Bay, and just by me saying that, some of you might know what I'm going to talk about. And I just got it in the mail today. That is the Night of the Living Dead 30th anniversary edition, and I watched this edition for the first time today, and honestly, my mind is blown, and not in a good way. I'm a huge fan of Night of the Living Dead. I love Anchor Bay. I just don't understand this release. Now, some of you watching this might own this release or might know something about it. Again, I think this DVD came out in 1999, and this isn't your typical release for Night of the Living Dead. Night of the Living Dead has been released on DVD, VHS, Blu-ray, thousands of times. The film is public domain. It's been released so much. But this cut of the movie has only been released on this DVD. Some of you might be wondering what I'm talking about. Well, this DVD contains the John Russo cut, and that cut is very different than the cut we all know and love. Now, this is still George Romero's Night of the Living Dead, but John Russo came in and shot some John Russo came in and shot some extra scenes for Night of the Living Dead. They rescored the film, and that's what this edition is. Now, with that being said, this version of Night of the Living Dead is trash! It's really bad. I'm not sure what they were thinking. You're probably also wondering, well, why do you have this in your collection? Why did you just get it? As a Night of the Living Dead fan, as an Anchor Bay fan, as a George Romero fan, I wanted to check this out, and I just found out about it recently because of Dead Pit Radio, because of CHH. I've known about Night of the Living Dead for years. I've watched the movie when I was younger, not super young, but definitely younger, and I had no idea about this cut. I've known about this cut for months now. I think I found out about it in like late 2025, and I just never picked up this edition till recently. So I picked this up, and I was like, I am going to watch this cut of Night of the Living Dead and see what everyone's talking about, why the movie isn't great. And oh my gosh, this edition sucks. Why would you even make something like this? What are you thinking? The additional scenes that they added to this are pointless. The new score is awful. The music doesn't even go with the scenes. So I'm not sure what they were thinking or why they wanted to do this, but this is such a weird release. I do want to say, though, if you're a Night of the Living Dead fan and a horror fan and a physical media fan, this is horror history, though, and that's one of the reasons I picked it up, because this version of the movie will never be released again. At least most likely. I don't want to say I know for sure, but most likely we will never see this release again. And I think it's kind of cool that Anchor Bay put this out way back in the days. You know, it even has the old logo there, if you guys can see that. But I picked this up because I had to check out what this cut was, and man, it is so bad. I don't know how you could take such a great movie and you want to add scenes to it, or you want to add music to it, or change things. Like, why would you even touch this movie? Why would you? I don't know. I don't get it, but it is a interesting release. It's like one of those obscure, just what are we doing type releases, and you can get this pretty cheap now on eBay, so if you do want to check it out, I would recommend picking it up. I don't know if this cut of the movie is on YouTube. You might be able to find it on there, but what an interesting release. Sorry, I was just looking at the back of it here. I mean, just look at this. Look at Bill Heinzman on the back of this DVD. Look how much older he is. It doesn't fit. They filmed this so much longer after the original that the continuity just doesn't make sense. And they try to make some of the zombies look more gruesome and more, relevant to the time, and it just does not work. Just because you make it black and white doesn't mean it's going to work. Overall, interesting release, and I wanted to do a short video on it. I actually want to know if some of you guys own this or if you've seen this cut of the movie. Definitely let me know in the comment section down below. And with that being said, how should I end this video? How do I want to end this? I don't know how to end this video, so like and subscribe, do all that fun stuff. I appreciate it.